then that meant that per level you would have more students in grade 4, more than in grade 5, and so on, to meet that 450 or 350 number. If you go to grade configuration 4 through 10, you're going to have less students per grade level. You still have the same space in the facility, but you don't have as many sections, whereas before, let's say in a 4 through 8 configuration, you might have 5 sections of 4th grade. In a 4 through 10 configuration, you might have 4 sections or 3 sections, so that you stay within your numbers. Do you follow me?
I think I follow.
Yeah, it's the number of sections that you have per grade level.
And the higher grade goes, decrease in your index section.
No, what you would do, what you do is, let's say, for example, let's just make the number easy. Let's say 400 students, and you've got 4 grade levels. So if you've got 4 grade levels, and you've got 400 students, you put 100 per section, 100 per grade level, you would have 4 sections, and each section would have 25 students. If you go make that larger, then you might have, in other words, if you go 4 through 10, you're going to have fewer sections with larger classes, but the configuration is all doable. Right now, the reason why there's uncertainty in regards to the grade configuration is Mrs. Spangler's question in regards to, if we go 4 through 8, and that means their continuation program has to be 9 through 12. If we go 4 through 10, in other words, you would have 4 years for the students. In other words, a continuation program to make sure they stay in a very good program. If you go 4 through 10, then you would have 2 years. We didn't even talk about having it from 4 through 12, but then that means you're going to serve less students per grade level. And so we expect there will be a huge demand from kids getting into the school.
Mr. Stone.
I guess my question stems of, this is a great program. I like the concept, but I just wonder what the byproduct might be. We've got Washington pulling from students all across the district, and now this possibly. Do you see this potentially adversely impact our goal of meeting AYP in some of the schools that draw, these good students to this choice school? And what are we going to do to make sure that we don't diminish the talent pool, at those schools that don't have this core focus?
The requirement that is put before us as we go forward to the year 2014, that discussion goes away in the sense that all students are to rise and succeed. What this does for us in regards to our effort to retain and attract students in District 150, it widens our capability and our exposure to choice. And that's part of the reasoning behind this, in the sense that there are some students that have a particular interest in science or technology. We'll have the means and capability of doing that in a more focused sense in the manner that we will develop the curriculum along that line. But no, your question is a question that was raised when the Washington School first came, and that's in the sense that a number of children who were extremely bright were attracted away from their home schools, and many of the building administrators were very concerned about that. The way I look at this is that we have children in all of our schools that need to become magnet sites as far as students succeeding and excelling. Very much what you said earlier in regards to all children, in regards to raising the bar. I would expect the very same thing is going to happen at Manual, in the sense that Manual is going to be a big draw as far as families wanting to get their children in that school in regards to what's happening, what's taking place at that school. So I see all of our schools being, magnets and drawing our kids and families to them.
And I have attended, I know they've had multiple meetings, but I did attend one meeting of the community group administration that's looking at the Math Science and Technology Academy. And it really stemmed out of a planning group that came through Bradley. And I think one of their suggestions was that this should not be a gifted school. This is a school that's really open to all students in District 150. The focus is on math, science, and technology. But it's not a school that you test to go into, and it's to develop those that have interest in those fields.
Well, I guess I'm hoping that we kind of do a reverse application in the sense that if this engages children in math and science and it does effectively, that we share that curriculum, with the other schools to tell the students that are in it, hey, this is what they're doing at the Math Science Academy, you can do it too. And kind of hold them up, to that higher level of expectation, saying, well, you're not at that school, you can't, just quite the opposite, I think, should be our goal in terms of building up those test scores.
Mrs. Fenton.
Well, we do have to address Washington. I think that we'll either, you have to bring Washington's entrance down to fourth grade, or people are going to sign out. So what we don't want to happen is, we just corrected at Molesky Hinton, where people jump after a certain amount of time, and we don't want people in 1 year and losing a space for somebody. So we'll have to address that. But at the same time, my understanding is Harrison School, we're going to have a gifted track from the beginning, and we're also implementing, Mrs. Phillips will be implementing enrichment throughout the entire district, so that we will be addressing the individual needs wherever they are, and it will be up to the schools to compete for challenging their students. And so I hope that by the time in 2 years, with that much focus being on enrichment, that we will be able to address what Mr. Stoll is concerned about.
What we have in our school district is we have a number of gifted and highly talented children who are not being served as well as we can. And so therefore we are starting this focus for kids in the entire district to see how we can better serve them, to make sure that they receive the exposure and the challenges that we want them to have. But that's what we're...
Will there also be a component, my understanding would be similar to a lab school, where people will have the opportunity to come and learn the different teaching techniques?
That is, they're a combination, but not in lab school like it was years ago, where your school was on the university site, but working in very close collaboration with, we had talked with Bradley in regards to doing this, and we are discussing as to how that might look and what it might look like. But you're right, basically, where you have an increased number of educators or people going into education, working in the buildings with the teaching staff. Yes.
Any other questions or comments?
Yes, so as we look at the interest and enthusiasm for this school, is there a certain part of the community or those that have particular interests that really behind this?
I will tell you that I have met with some neighborhood associations, and there's a high degree of interest and support for it taking place in their community. There is even concern that there are other segments of the community that would like it in their particular neighborhood. But in the immediate neighborhood that we're talking about, I met with 2 neighborhood associations and a number of people, or the last one that went to it, Bradley. Very supportive, very, very supportive.
Has there been any expressed interest from the Mag Tech district and all that that's going on? How are they feeding into this academy?
Well,
or technologies?
there was a desire by individuals that are living on the north side of Main Street that wanted it more closer to Main Street, and our response to them was that we don't have the financial wherewithal to actually put that facility there, because that would be our desire too. But the site on Moss is very close to that, and people that were on the committee that Dr. Gorns was talking about, in regards to a number of people that worked on this, Dr. Fisher was on there probably a year or 2 years, are very much in support of the Math Science Academy.
What interest or feedback have you had from some of the agencies or organizations in our community that are already a part of this type of program, in terms of that is the profession, I guess, to really
Science
the point,
and technology.
science, technology. Are you hearing from the medical hospitals in our area? Are you hearing, we have from Bradley University, University of Illinois, the Ag Lab. What are some of those